Hello everyone, Nishant here from Learn QA Skill. In today's video, we will be learning about state transition technique and error guessing technique. So first is a state transition technique. So in the state transition technique, changes made in the input condition, and because of that, the state changes or the output changes for the application under test. State transition testing helps to analyze the behavior of an application for a different input conditions passed in the sequence. In state transition technique, the testing team provides the positive and negative inputs, and based on that, they evaluate the system behavior. Let's take one example for the state transition technique. So let's consider an ATM system function where if the user enters the invalid password for the 3 times, then the account will be blocked. In this system, if user enters a valid password in any of the first 3 attempts, then the user should be successfully logged in. If the user enters the invalid password in the first or second try, then the user will be asked to re-enter the password for the third time. And if the third time he will enter the invalid password or the incorrect password, then that account will be blocked. So this is the scenario. In this scenario, we will apply the state transition technique. So let's consider the state 1 is a first try. So in the first try, if we give the valid password, then he will get the access to his account. So which will goes to from state 1 to state 4. If in the first try he will enter the invalid password, then he will get the second try to enter the password, which is the state 2. If in the second attempt he will enter the valid password, then he will get the access to account. In the second try as well, if he enter the invalid password, then he will get the third attempt, which is the state 3. If in the third try as well he will enter the valid password, he will get the access to account, which goes to state 4. If in the third attempt he will enter the invalid password, then that account will be blocked, so which is the state 5. So based on the above state changes, this table has been created. So here all the states listed down. In state 1 he will get the first try, so it is the first try. In the first try, if he will enter the correct password, then he will move to the state 4. So from state 1 to state 4. If in the state 1 he will enter the incorrect password, then he will move to the state 2, which is this one. In the state 2 he will get the second try. From the state 2, if he will enter the correct password, then he will move to the state 4, which is from state 2 to state 4. And from the state 2, if he will enter the incorrect password, then he will move to the state 3. From state 2 to state 3 for incorrect password. And in the state 3, he will get the third try. If in the third try he will enter the correct password, then he will move to the state 4, or else in the state 5. From the state 3, if the correct password, he will goes into the state 4. For the invalid password, he will go to the state 5, which cause the account block. And state 4 is a access to account, which is this one, and the state 5 is account block, which is this one. Next is a error guessing. It's an experience based testing technique where the test analysis uses his or her experience to guess the problematic areas in the application. This technique necessarily requires the skilled and experienced testers. The main purpose of this technique is to guess the possible bugs in the areas where the formal testing would not work. The scope of error guessing technique is entirely depends on the testers and the type of experience in the previous testing involvement, because it does not follow any specific rules and the guideline. Suppose there is a requirement stating that the mobile number should be the numeric and the less than and not less than 10 characters. So in this case, if we apply the error guessing technique, so test analyst or the tester may think of negative scenarios and he will try to enter the negative values and try to find the errors or bugs in the application. Negative scenarios like what will be the result if the mobile number left blank. So this is the one scenario. And the second one is what will be the result if the any character other than the numeral is entered in that mobile number field. And third is what will be the result if the less than 10 numerals are entered in the mobile number field. So Like this he can guess the negative scenarios, and he will try to enter the negative values or negative scenarios. By this he can guess the problematic areas in that field to guess the errors in the application or in the field. So this is the error guessing technique. So the error guessing technique is totally depends on the skill set of the testers or the test analysts. So how much analytically he can think to guess the errors and the problematic areas in the application.